the story of the cracked pot. There was a water carrier that had to go to the river every day and fill 2 pots of water. And he carried them with a pole across his shoulders. And every day he would go down, he would fill these pots, and he would take these pots of water to his master. Well, one day, one of the pots said to the water carrier, I feel so bad because I'm not doing my part as a water carrier. And the water carrier said, but what do you mean? You know, I take you down and I fill you full of water every day and I bring you back to my master. He said, yeah, but because of this crack in my pot, it only comes back half full. And the water carrier says, well, don't be discouraged by that. Haven't you noticed that on your side of the path we have these beautiful flowers that I cut and I take to my master that blesses his home and beautifies his home? And the water pot said, well, yes, but I'm still losing my water. But those flowers wouldn't be there if you didn't have a crack in your pot. So I want to make sure you know that even though you have cracks in your pot, it still can be used beneficially. And of course the cracked pot didn't understand this before. Now the point of this story is we all have flaws. We all have challenges in our life. We all have something that maybe is not perfect in our life. But we can still be used to glorify the Master. Now the point of the story, of course, is that Jesus told stories. And when I told you this story, hopefully you can vividly see the fact that you have some flaws or some cracks in your own personality or your own life, or maybe some skill sets that you'd like to be better with. But those flaws sometimes can be used to actually glorify God or glorify the Master. And Jesus told story after story after story. He tells a story about a rich young man coming to him. And he wants to know what he has to do. He wants to know what he has to do to serve God. And you know what Jesus says to him? He says, you need to take and sell all your possessions and give it to the poor. And the young man went away sad. As far as I know, this was the only time someone left Jesus sad. Because this young man had many possessions. He had lots of riches. Now, you may think, well, God's against riches. Jesus was against riches. No, Jesus is not against riches. Jesus wants to make the point, if you love your riches more than you love me, then how can you serve God? See, sometimes we get so caught up with our own pride and our own importance that we have a hard time serving those that are working with us. And as a leader, Jesus became a servant leader. He wasn't the type of guy who just told people what to do. He told stories and he illustrated. He helped draw people in to see how they could be beneficial in his kingdom.
Tell me how you would use storytelling or use this leadership practice of Jesus in the workplace.
Well, I would tell that story about how Jesus selected his 12 from all different types of backgrounds. And he did that on purpose. I mean, obviously, everything God did, that's Jesus on earth, he did for a reason. Well, he picked all these people with different personalities. So in our leadership staff, we wouldn't have people with all different personalities, like Jesus did. And he taught those that were his leaders, he taught those to lead people of a variety of backgrounds. But when you tell these stories, and when you tell about the stories about what Jesus placed his importance on, it's not very hard to see that Jesus would pick people from all different backgrounds. He would meet people where they are. Like he met a lady at a well one time when nobody else had anything to do with her, and he met her where she was. He took her from where she was to greater heights. And he tells these stories throughout the Gospels to help people understand, because it's kind of hard to understand some of these applications unless you hear it from a story.